Is this it? Am I on? I've been storm working all day to get this and the crab pots to a better state. I basically rebuilt this fishing boat and I haven't really compared it to the original shape. I think it's a little bit longer. It looks a little bit longer in the nose. What I did though, I moved the anchors up to the front and then I had to space out the ties a little bit different. And those ties were actually on a different subgrid. Now they're just connected and I don't know if they need to be on a separate subgrid. It was really only like that so if I crashed there was armor. So let's just not crash. I pretty much used the whole bridge again. I really liked the little funnel and the way that these air filters come in. I can't remember, but I think this side's air filter was actually to pressurize the tank or to depressurize the tank because it was stalling and I wasn't sure why it was stalling. I haven't tested any of this, see if any of that works. Lights up here, navigation lights work. The deck lights don't work. This crane is now one block shorter because this keel is one block lower, and so actually all of this sort of front hull section and I guess the sides got one block taller as well. And I replaced the fins. This fin was previously in the middle here, was doing all the turning, but what I was finding is that it was rolling, so I've replaced it with two of these big ones on the sides, and this middle fin is just there for looks to sort of connect this gearbox thing that looks like it's holding the propeller. The two fins here that are sideways, two rudders, they're for roll stabilization, but I think they're moving just a very minor amount. Because I dropped the keel down, I did that so that I could fit a active roll stabilizer in here. I haven't hooked it up though, so it's just sitting here in the middle, and that's why I kind of want to lean, kind of turning a little bit too much. And I did some crazy stuff with the engine, so there's a hatch in the floor now, and this drops down into a hallway, and oh yeah, this ladder needs to be put back in. So this is my server. Basically, there is a block of paintable indicators, and then most of my microcontrollers are behind that. So when you weld, you can weld through one block. So the paint block is one block, and then my microcontrollers are directly behind that. And I've made sure that they're all 2 wide because that is a 3 wide cavity there. So it's one block for the paintables, and then the microcontrollers are 2 blocks deep, basically. So I'll be able to weld all of them through this if anything goes wrong. Here is all the microcontrollers I couldn't fit, and I just need to get rid of some of those names so when you look at it, nothing, funny pops up. In the floor, I've got a fuel pumps panel looking thing. I need to fix where this color crosses over through the middle. And that is there because the fuel pumps are there, so again, if I need to weld it, the fuel pumps are directly below that piece there. Then through this door, we have the battery, which I want to build some kind of enclosure. And then a smaller engine. So before I had I think it was a 4-cylinder, 3X engine. Very similar, but I just wanted to sort of be able to walk around in here. 2 radiators, one is a bit hotter than the other, don't know why. I can do some decoration in here, and I want to put a bed and some other equipment in this section here. So you can't actually get up the ladder right now, you've got to get onto the helm. The radio goes in here. I've got 2 ropes, one on each side at the moment, and then empty slots so when I steal things they can go in there. Fire extinguisher, welder is downstairs. The A-frame works. What I did with the nets, I haven't really touched them, so they've got the weight blocks on the 2 nets that'll be at the bottom, and then the other 2 are just going to float. So you go net down, controls all the winches, and then expand net sends a signal to one of those, which sends it to all of them. I could put a net or a winch length on here, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. I don't know if having this up higher does anything useful. I definitely need to go to some deeper water so that the net will expand properly. The net gets very expanded. What I would like is for the net to be further away from the boat though, because the noise from the propeller is probably scaring the fish. If the net were further away, I think you'd catch more fish. These anchors work, which is very nice. Actually, I don't know if they can reach the bottom here. Just short of the bottom. Oh. Okay, now I'm anchored. I was working on the crab boat as well, and I played a little bit of career this morning. But I wasn't working on the crab boat. The crab boat's kind of done. There's not too much I can do other than like try and physics flood some areas and give it a better physics shape, which I kind of don't want to do. But I was messing around a lot with the crab pot and making some more mods. So here is essentially the final crab pot. I still need to figure out a good way to assign a number to the pot. So if you had 10 pots, I would like it to say, you know, have pot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I want the user to be able to specify what frequency or what pot each one is. So this is pot 1, and it has a microcontroller on here which is picking up how many crabs are in the pot and then sending that number up the cable, which comes into one of these controllers. Then that controller is constantly sending out how many crabs are in here, plus this one here is the physics sensor, so you can see what it's doing. We've got crab pot 1 and crab pot 2. Their numbers come into here, get added together, then go out as total crabs. Then the crab data and the GPS data off the physics sensor get combined and sent up the cable, and then the cable goes off into the pot data, so that is controlling the color of the light, and then the rest of it just goes up onto the antenna. So this is a new part I made. It's a wedge antenna. Basically I took the normal antenna, and it's a medium antenna, and I just put it on a wedge, and then I had to make a custom adaptery thing for this. So you can see what I've done here. I've kind of taken this little base thing and stretched it out to fit on the wedge. I've also tried to keep the top of it within the block, just because I wasn't really sure how high up this would be to go. So that actually brings the total height down quite a bit of the antenna. This bit of the antenna can still wobble around if you hit it or just from physics. So yeah, really happy with that. And that lets me put the antenna on the wedge, solar panel wedge. There's a keep active wedge, I think is this one. And then antennas are actually quite heavy, they're 8 mass. So I ended up making a weight wedge, which is down here. It doesn't have the grey diamonds on it. It does exactly the same thing, it adds 10 mass, it just looks like a wedge. So that is that one there, which counteracts the weight of the antenna. Put all my mods in here for what I've got so far. We have a weight block, an antenna. I'm still working on the liquid meter because there is 2 number nodes here. So this top one is where there's a voxel. There's usually another thing. So if you look at the normal liquid meter, you can't place a block on its face with the sensor thing on it. But I thought because it's a wedge, you might want to have, you know, this kind of configuration, or maybe you want to do this. So what I'm thinking with this one is there'll be 2 of them. One of them will have fluid capacity and one of them will have liquid level. That way you can just kind of choose whichever one you want. They'll both keep their composite data. Oh yeah, then we've got the solar panel wedge and the normal one. So these are my mods so far. With the solar panel, you can kind of see it. This little bit here on the corner, that's glass, like a technical glass texture. Technically it's glass like how this is glass, so it's transparent and not colorable. But you can barely see that that is glass. Like you can see it's glass from this one kind of specific angle. If you're looking over on it on a low angle, you can see it. So I'm thinking that what I'll try and do is create that colored section that I've turned black, make it so it's not glass, and then you should be able to use an additive paint and just paint the solar panel whatever color you want. So it will mean that it doesn't have that kind of reflective sheen on it, unless, well, it might. I'll have a look. I don't really know how it's set up. So yeah, my little mod pack is coming along. I haven't had time to make a nice thumbnail, and I don't think, hopefully by the time you watch this, all of these will be in the pack, and I'm just going to keep going through and adding things. Like I've been working on having a keypad wedge, because I think for this pot it would be good to have keypad here as a wedge, and then that will change the frequency and the pot ID, because the frequency and the pot ID for my crab pots are the same. That's how I'm ordering the data. What I might also do then is have a monitor where that number is and have that update with the pot ID and frequency based off what the keypad says. And that way I can have a nice big pixel number there that actually represents the pot. So earlier today we did some fishing with the crab boat and just tested out the pots. Tried to put heaps of pots on the boat and see if it would float very well. It doesn't float that well. I had 7 pots on there and that earned me about 40k, I think. So this is back in Korea now. I'm at 100,000 without spawning anything. If I spawn the fishing boat, I've tried not to use too many mods on this actually. I think most of it's vanilla. The only thing I can really think of is here in this doorway. I used these little Thales wedges because I wanted to have this kind of corner that this door actually, like the real door has them on it, but I figure the hatch is as much of a door coming down into this space, so why have another door? Doors following doors doesn't make any sense. So 60,000. This is just under 40,000, and I want to decorate it a little bit. So I've got, what was it? About $3,000 worth of decoration to put in here. If you've got a good idea for what I can put against this wall, like a paint block type situation, then I can leave the names on the name, which would make it easier to fix anything and edit in the future, and then you wouldn't see it if you're just walking around in the boat. So I don't want another server, but if there's like some other piece of furniture, I thought about putting in a cabinet, but didn't feel like a cabinet today. $36,000. So I can make it a little bit more expensive, which I will do. Just leave me some suggestions because I'll do it over the week. The thing with this net is you've got to bring it up so that those two bits come up to the right size and then let it back down. It's a bit wobbly, I don't know if it's just the weather. Don't mind all those trees over there. I think the pitch and roll stabilizer is working though. I've been playing around with NSO, and that's the result of trying to go back to Korea. I really like this. This is cool. Oh, you can't even see out the windows. I guess it adds light though. It does make it a lot brighter in here. I think my stabilizer's broken because it's just stuck to one side, which means that the active stabilizer is what's causing me to have this current left tilt. I don't know if it's just upside down, so I can try cut it and flip it, or the way that the having that stabilizer works. It's meant for having two opposites, so two fins going in opposite directions, one on the left, one on the right, or having fluid jets, one on the left, one on the right. Having the barrel on tracks in the middle, I don't know if it understands what to do with that. It's getting real shallow here as I get closer to North Harbour, so the net is now starting to crumple up on the ocean floor. I feel like crabs is the best way to make money, because some of these fish are only worth $100, whereas yeah, my net's basically gone now. Some of the crabs are worth, even the really common ones are worth like $300 each. Getting the fish into the hopper is actually extremely easy in comparison to getting crabs into the hopper, which is incredibly difficult. It might also just be the way that I built my crab boat, but like this, and just puts it directly over. So easy. Trying to get the crab pots over, because I guess this is 9 blocks wide, a 9 by 9 area, whereas on my crab boat it's a 5 by 12, I think. It's quite difficult, especially when you've got pots up the front by the bridge. It's hard to get the other ones, the crabs that you're unloading, it's hard to get them directly over the hopper. This is incredibly easy because of the remote. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's so easy. I'm gonna have to... I might make this little remote thing its own vehicle, and then you just like load it and paste it onto whatever you want, and you get the radio with the antennas and all the channels and stuff set up to control fish thing. Oh yeah, I found this flare gun and this radio. There was a vehicle that needed, a boat needed its engine welded or something, and yeah, they just happened to have this stuff on them. I shot the flare already. 72, I think it was about $10,000 worth of fish, maybe. It's just under 40,000 for that boat. This is $60,000 property, $25,000 for fish starter. I should buy one of those just to see what it does. It might get you just way more fish. I think what I'll do, I'll end it here, but I'll go do some crab fishing now that I'm right by the sell point. I can probably, there's got to be a scammy way that you can do this, because lobsters or crabs will go in the pots when it's near the bottom of the ocean, regardless if you're near it or not. This thing can go pretty far down. Not all the way down, but pretty far down. I could make a thing that you spawn over here and you just maybe drive it underwater to here, and then it has a big tower thing that can come all the way up to the vacuum, you know, top of the water line, and then crab pots on the bottom with hoppers on the side maybe, and then a timer that empties the pot every couple of minutes, and they just automatically empty into the hoppers, and then the hoppers get empty from the vacuum straight away. I don't know if that would work or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. We're kind of zooming through Korea because the crab boat was sort of already built, and this fishing boat is sort of finished now. A little bit more decoration stuff, and I want to buy one of those fish starters as well and see if it actually will give me heaps more fish. But I think crabs is still the best way to get money, so yeah. But I'll try some logistics missions soon, so that'll be interesting. Thanks for watching. See you later.